Gang, it's a great day to be alive. It's a great day to be and live in one of these free countries. However, there's massive blood in the streets in the stock market. Today we've seen 1,000 plus points. Now this is going on for weeks and weeks where we've seen 1,000 points up one way, 1,000 points the other way. And in 2016, I let everyone know that this was going to be coming, and everyone laughed at me, and I got a bunch of hate messages, hate mail. But I still did what I did because you know just one person I can help them is all that matters. And I think I've done that, which I feel pretty good. And I'm doing this more. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a attorney or CPA or doctor or anything like that. I'm just an entrepreneur. Business since high school for myself. I've never worked for anyone. I've never started any business borrowing money from a credit card, hard money, or a bank. I just use creativity, imagination, and that's what I teach on my channel: is how to be your dreams without debt, how to have abundance. Doesn't matter if the market is up, if the market is sideways, if the market is down, and that's what I teach without debt because I don't like stinky bankers. I don't like Wall Street, and they're the prime reason that many Americans are going to lose their pensions, they're going to lose their 401s, they're going to lose their retirements, and a lot of these Americans are going to be senior citizens that worked all their life and they trusted in the market, and now it's too late for them to do anything. They're at the age of where they need that money. So um, we can see that the Fed has doing massive printing of money. Um, they started with the repo market. They just still today, just yesterday, they give out billions of dollars to central bankers to the member banks, the other central bankers, free money, right? Just billions of dollars, and it hasn't done anything at all. We saw that the Fed came and cut interest rates once more, 50, half a point, and the markets had a reaction, allergic reaction to that because I think that the people are starting to wake up that the economy is sick and that we can't, if it wasn't sick, we wouldn't lower the interest rate. We never had interest rate in the history of America or the history of the world going back to the written history like Samaritans or Babylonian. There was never interest rate at this low. And no matter how much they print, how much lower they bring the interest rate, we're sitting in a situation where we have a supply decrease because our manufacturer, which is China, not only of America, Germany, Great Britain, America, I mean, so many other countries, their people are not going to work, they're not producing anything. And most countries are relying on China because of whatever. And we are seeing shortages from many different things, right? But also on luxury things like your cell phones or not being able to get a bike or and some of this stuff is artificially created by our president, like the tariffs, like laws that, for example, South Korea has testing kits for COVID-19. They do an average of 15,000 people of their people testing a day, while in America there's not any kits out there. They're coming in the process. Okay, um, and so well, doctors cannot go and order from manufacturers in South Korea because of the red tape. So there's a lot of that stuff going on that's making the world's reserve currency, the world's most powerful country, way behind, way behind. Not only does it come in the COVID-19 situation where there's no test kits, we're so behind, there's no sanitizers, there's no face masks, they don't have any of it, all the way down to the manipulation of the stock market where the Fed prints out money, they give it to the people closest to the printing press, which is their friends and big corporations. They buy back their stocks. They do the repo market where bank to bank lending has dried off, and the banks are just getting free money. Uh, doesn't matter if it was the bailouts, whatever the system is, whatever the problem is, the working class has to pay for it. through taxation, through bailouts or bail-ins, while, you know, the stinky bankers and their friends siphon the riches of the people. And we can see that happening in the stock market because whatever gains that Trump supposedly in his greatest economy has created just got wiped out since he's been in office. Just in this past, I would say 1 or 2 weeks, guys, 1 or 2 weeks, everything that he's created since Obama was wiped out, right? And just like this, and this is just the beginning of the tipping point, because in my opinion, I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm more wrong than right. But I did call the gold play in 2016. I did call this bubble crashing in 2016. So, take that as what it's worth. In the economy we're in, we don't produce anything. We're just consumption, and the manufacturer that we buy stuff from is broken, it's not working. And no matter how much they cut the interest rate or how much money they print, it's not going to fix the supply problem. Historically, when we have booms and busts, the central bankers control that to monetary policy. But this time is above that. They have the military policy that created this economic collapse, which is printing of money, easy credit, low interest rate. But at the same time, there's a supply shortages, which no much money will fix that because money is fake and products are real. So someone has to go to the factory or to work to produce that. You can print all the money you want. If people are not going to work because of what's happening, then there's a supply problem. Now, when you marry these things together, Big Brother's overspending, bad monetary policy, bad foreign policy where we just bomb and spend so much money on, merchants of death versus, having medical kits, having extra supplies, homelessness. Then when you marry that with the lack of products being produced and so much debt and bad monetary policy, then you can get the world's greatest depression, okay, happening. Now that said, this channel is about abundance. This is a great, 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 in my opinion, opportunity to create wealth because massive amount of people have already lost a lot of money in the past couple of days. There's a lot more people coming that are going to lose a lot more money in real estate, in stocks, in their businesses. I mean, I can count a number of businesses that have gone bankrupt in the last 4, 5 months. Okay, small businesses, that's where it starts off first. What you notice is you'll start noticing small restaurants that you may have gone to, they start closing down. That's where always they're like restaurants are like the lymph nodes in your body. You know, they're the first defense. The small business is where you see things shifting. When you see that small business owner going out of business and the other small business down the streets going out of business, then you know something bigger is coming. Okay, that's what it means to keep your ear on the heartbeat of the streets, where you don't have to look at the statistics of what they say at the bankers or the Fed or whatever. You have your ears on the streets, and that's what I teach you guys. Sorry, guys. Had a little crash. Had a little crash, just like the stock market. And that's what happens when you go live and you're unscripted and you talk from your heart, which is what I do all the time, guys. Which is expected. Now going back to the story, this is a great opportunity. This is not a blues and goose speech. This is a great opportunity. What opportunity do I see here? Well, there's a lot of opportunities, but I'm investing subject twos. What is that? Well, that is where the seller becomes your bank. So what I do in real estate is I don't do fix and flips. You can with this strategy. I just don't like fix and flips. They're too risky, too much time, too little profits. I know that's what the Vans and everyone else talks about. But what I do is I deal with homeowners direct. And that's what I teach my students because I don't like to deal with bankers. I don't like to deal with bankers. I don't like to borrow money from a bank. And there's abundance of people that have mortgages already. So what I do is I find these motivated sellers through advertisement, which I can show you and teach you how to do. And I've been doing it since 2013 for free on my channel. I find these motivated sellers, I market to them, I qualify them, I filter them out, and I give them offers. And a lot of these motivated sellers are motivated because external things that have happened that are out of their control. For example, buybacks in corporations, which have caused layoffs, um, Fed printing of money, Fed cutting the interest rates, and so on and so on. All these things that were out of their control. And now they're in situations where they're highly motivated because their equities have evaporated in their homes, their equities have evaporated in their stocks. And what I do is I help these homeowners not pay the devil, which is the bankers, because what they're going to happen is they're going to get busted, they're going to get foreclosed on, they're going to get their calls called in, right? Majority of people are leveraged out. I mean, people that invest in stocks, they're leveraged. What does that mean? They're indebted. Like let's say they had $10, and so they're leveraging $1,000. 90%, 95% of the money is house money. It's the broker's money. It's not even their money. They're leveraged out. Same thing with real estate. There's so many people that are leveraged out, and when the market is gravy when the market's going up, but what they don't realize is the market doesn't always go up. Nothing in life goes always up. We live in a duality. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, right? And that's the great thing of put some little motivation here. If you're down right now in life, then remember this is a great opportunity because go this way if this is down. The other only other way to go is this way now. And that's what I always tell myself when uh that's what I tell myself always when things are going hard for me, that the harder it is, the harder I'm going to swing back to that success side. And that's just how life is. Nature made it like that. You can't have a right without a left. You can't have a up without a down. You can't have a positive without a negative. And that's how the duality of the nature we live in. Okay. So for phantom rich, I say phantom rich on paper only. They didn't capture it. They didn't um, actually realize it, but it was on paper. Their stocks went up, their homes went up, their retirements went up, their 401s went up, their 4, whatever. But they didn't capture it, and that made them feel good, which then allowed them to spend and overconsume and not save, because it's not cool to be a saver. It's not cool to tighten your belt, and be your dreams. What is cool is to consume to get the next point 2.0. Cool is to have a job, quit your job, get a to Saki and only way this and all these people, all these corporations that have been zombie companies that shouldn't even be in business, but they're selling millions and trillions of dollars on Wall Street of their stocks to retail investors, to pensions. Well, all these people are going to have to pay the reaper because the pendulum has already swung this way. And at the same time, because the pendulum is swinging this way, is going to create a lot of wealth for anyone that doesn't do what everyone else does. Because now here comes the herd. Now here comes the stampede. Okay, and if you look around in any newspaper today, you look on any TV show, 80% to 75% of the news is now negative. Now negative. Okay, because they are polarizing people like a magnet to realize that they have to take these losses. Before they were telling them this is the best economy ever. Now they're telling the somewhat the truth that should have been told people months and months ago. Okay, or their financial advisor should have told them, which many people, financial advisors, didn't tell them any of this stuff because they make money from every transaction that you use them. So they should have a fiduciary duty to the client, but what I realize is they really don't. Just like real estate agents, right? Uh, I know a lot of people on Facebook that are real estate agents, and they told their clients to pay over the asking price because there's too much competition. Well, the truth, the fact is that as an agent, if I was an agent and I had a fiduciary duty, I wouldn't tell my clients, "Look, man, the market is high," or I would tell them, "Look, for us to get a deal below the asking price, it may take 3 months to 6 months, and I got to really work my butt off, right? I got to work my butt off. I got to put a lot of offers in." But most real estate agents that I saw on my Facebook feed, which I disfriended them because that's sleazy. They told their clients to pay over the asking price. So if the seller wanted 500,000 for this home, say pay 550, pay $40,000 more so you can get the deal. Well, same thing has happened with financial advisors. Same thing has happened with attorneys. Some things have happened with the doctors. They're telling their patients, to take drugs that have all these bad side effects, right? and they can't deter from that. Like vaccine, they can't deter from that because they're indebted $400,000 to the bankers. Got to get to work. They got to pay off this. They can get this bar. They can lose it. So they just got to go with the program. They can't tell the people the truth, right? Even if they, for example, if the doctor doesn't get vaccinated, but he's recommending his patients to get vaccinated, right? And the truth of the fact is, the more you have time to do research for yourself, the more you're able to think for yourself, the less likely you are to get vaccinated, right? Because you're like, hey, that's a foreign substance that's going to kill my kids, increase autism. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a financial advisor. These are just my opinions from my research that I've done. And that's, like I said, since college, I've been doing research on homeopathic medicine because I love this shit, not because I get paid for it. Not it's not my job. Just researching for myself, just like I research how money is being printed, not because I get paid for it. Not it's not because it's my job. I just want to know myself because for the longest time I didn't even know how money was created. Right. All I want to do is create companies and beat this guy and beat my competitor, and I did that and I had tremendous success. But in the American dream, I came to America as a refugee, didn't speak any English. My parents are, stuff to the homeless people. The next mountain can, will that is poisoning me. So the same thing with, the economy. It takes significant amount of awareness to reprogram yourself to think, hey, bankers are not my friend. When that banker says this house appraises for this price, does not really mean that house is worth this much. What they're saying is they're willing to indebt me for that price. And yes, they want to, their business model is to indebt the consumer as high as possible. Okay. So when they say the house is, worth, they praise at 200, someone that's going to pay cash will never pay 200 for it. They may only pay 120 for it. Maybe they see, people don't understand that when they go to the bank and they get an appraisal, is going to be the highest appraisal, the highest price. If they go to a real estate agent, the price will be a little bit below that, but pretty high. If they go to a cash investor, the price will be all the way down here, right? Because the cash investor knows the house is not worth that price because they're paying cash. It takes significant work, energy, sacrifice to come up with this to buy that. So most people don't realize when the real estate agent says, well, the comps is this, like, oh, okay, they believe that. When the mortgage broker says, "Well, the house appraises for this," oh, okay, they believe that, and they don't understand the difference between bank appraisal, CMA of a real estate agent, and the real cash value of this property. What the insurance will pay if you're just having coverage on it that doesn't include appreciation. So this whole different ideas. What the insurance will pay for it, what the cash buyer off appraisal value is, or what the mortgage appraisal is, what the CMA realtor says. It's all opinions, and what really matters is the fair market. Is someone's going to sign up for it? And what we're seeing today is that there's a lot of people that are willing to sign up for this debt because of regulation change. They and I brought it to you on my channel, guys. Please go back and listen to it. They changed your debt to income ratio, which means that before you had to have a certain type of ratio to borrow money. Because of so many people being in debt, so many people have student debt. Well, they couldn't qualify for these loans, so they modified it to allow more people to qualify. Well, on top of that, the lowered interest rate so low that anyone can now afford a 300 or 400 or $500,000 home in areas where the median home price is 150. 200, where the average people could only afford a 200. Now they're buying a 500,000 because the interest rate is so low. Okay, because their monthly payments. Because most people, when they go buy a car, when they go buy a house, like my sister was saying, and I told her, look, this is totally wrong. What she thought about is how much do I have to put down, and how much is my monthly payments? And I said, look, sister, that's totally wrong. What you want to know is what is the asking price, and can you get that down? Right? Because if you can get that down, then you're going to be way better off than worrying about what the monthly payments are, because that can be manipulated by long term payment, where instead of a 5 year, they can do a 7 year or 8 years. Instead of a 3 years, they can do a 5 year, whatever, or they could do it through interest manipulations, right? And what really matters is how much are you taking on as debt and negotiating that debt. And eventually will negotiate your down payment, which will then eventually negotiate your monthly payments. So there's going to be so many home sellers, and I just did a video, guys. If you haven't watched my last video, which talks about there's only tough choices for real estate sellers, please go watch that because I took a lot of time. I actually put everything together, prepped it up. 99% of my videos is freestyle to talk from my heart. I don't like, do it for you, but this one I did because literally go watch it because home sellers in America and many other parts of the country and the world are going to be in tough situations because their homes don't have any equity. They paid way too much for these homes, way too much, right? They paid way too much for these homes. The banker said it was worth it. The agent said it was worth it, and it's really not worth it. And with this market, they're going to really realize that the house is not worth it, and they're going to be upside down with negative equity, which creates this massive amount of opportunities. What I call taking over house payments. There's going to be so many people out there that have cars that the banks are going to be foreclosing on their cars. That creates an opportunity for someone to go buy a car. For example, I had an opportunity to buy a Tesla, guys, a brand new Tesla that didn't even have like 10, 12,000 miles on it by just taking over the seller's payment. Okay. And this is in 2016. I and I almost bought it. All I had to do is just make the payments. I didn't have to go get a mortgage. I didn't have to go get a loan. I didn't have to qualify. I didn't have to do any of this stuff. The guy had a loan. He worked in the military. He just got recalled to a different state. He had put $25,000 down on the car, and if he had to trade it in, he would have to bring in another $25,000 because appreciation. And he was trying to look for a better solution. I told him, "Look, I'll just take over your payments." And he was like, "Okay." He came to my house, tried to convince me, but at that time, I was done with material things. Thought about it because all I had to do is just make the monthly payments. We were left for you about $1,000 bucks. But the point of the story is there's going to be so much opportunity for just taking over payments. It doesn't matter if you're talking about cars, if you're talking about um, ATVs, if you're talking about real estate, if you're talking about, you know, RVs, if you're talking about whatever you can imagine, because in America, everything is bought in installment plans, and a lot of these people are not going to be able to make installment plans, right? So there's great opportunity. I know people that just flip cars, and this is going to be a great opportunity for them to just take over people's car payments, right? And then turn around, ask for a down payment, resell it on Craigslist or somewhere else. And someone doesn't have credit, they'll give them 10 grand, 5 grand, and just be happy just to get the car because they can't get a car. Same thing happens with real estate. This is what I call a subject to heaven. And I brought it to you back in 2016. Everyone laughed at me. 2017, everyone laughed at me. Got hate mail. That subject to heaven is here. A subject to heaven is same example of a car owner, but it's a house owner, a homeowner, a condo owner, a ranch owner, a commercial building, a storage facility, whatever you can imagine. People got these loans, and now they can't make the payments. They can't sell, right? Because they can't sell. They can't sell because of so many different factors. I don't want to get into it, but I can if you guys want to. And they're going to be highly motivated. And what I do in the last crash is I just market to these sellers. I talk to them, I negotiate with them, I filtered them. And if you want to know how to do all that stuff, then go to mrnofluff.com and consider downloading some of these courses that I have because I teach you how to beat your dreams without debt. I mean, listen to this. Who do you know that says be your dreams without debt? You can get in real estate without debt. Everyone talking about hard money lending, how to get debt, how to get this, how to get this. And I'm saying that hey, you can be your dreams with just $100 in America. All right. You can be and people say, well, how can you be your dreams with just $100? Well, I'm doing my business right now with no money, with no bank money. I started my moving company the same way, my brokerage firm the same way, my real estate business the same way, guys. Now, one of the best ways that I know that I've created for you guys, and I use it every day, it's called the new flip. You can start with $100. $100 business capital will start you a full-fledged business or a full-fledged side hustle. It depends on your situation. If you work full time, then it'll be a side hustle. If you don't have a job or you're looking for something opportunity, there's a full-time business which capitalizes on this market, on the motivated sellers. It's called the new flip. On top of that, it gives you 200 to 700 X return, potential returns. Okay. What does that mean? That means that I invest $100, I made $700. I invest $100, I made $300. Invest $100, make 600, 500, 200. Those are what I mean of 200 to 700x return in a matter of hours or days or weeks. Okay, so fast. And the new flip allows anyone to stack their chips, to learn a whole new skill, to learn how to deal with motivated sellers, to spec properties, all the skills you need to be able to step up to the real estate business, because real estate is very hard, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. Everyone tells you it's easy. It's very hard business, okay? But if you can't do the new flip, your odds of doing real estate is slim. If you do the new flip and you can do it and you can stack up 10, 20 grand from it real fast, then your odds of having success in real estate extremely exponentially grows, even though that any business or any investment is risky. You got to realize that. The only thing that's not risky is the job. That's not risky at all. But I know a lot of people that lose their jobs or pensions go bankrupt, corporations go bankrupt. But theoretically, that's not risky, right? That's what is paid a price, right? And you got to be able to take a risk. Great, you can take over. Please go beautiful over payments to buy this house traditionally with a real estate agent, right? Where sellers highly motivated, right? This I've been following this seller for quite a while, and they weren't motivated. They've been trying to sell their homes since 2019, a year now. Now they're highly motivated, guys. If you want to learn how to do this, and you don't have a lot of money, or you're working full time, and you never had a business, then do this thing. Go download the new flip, stack your chips, make 10 grand, 20 grand as fast as possible in a couple of months. Okay. And then while you're at the website, you may want to consider downloading the virtual wholesaling, because I show you how to get the deals in real estate over the phone. So you don't have to drive anywhere with the bug going on right now. Plus, it opens the whole market to you for other areas, other counties, other states, and even other countries, because you can do everything over the phone. Okay. Uh, and you can put them together. If you're already ready to start the real estate business, and you already have some money saved up, then you may consider just downloading my virtual wholesaling. Right now, you can get it for 157 versus the $4,000 that I normally charge. It's a full day seminar, which means it's almost 8 hours long. Okay, of intense talking to sellers on the phone. One that's why are you gonna take up my payments? Why can't you cash me out? And you hear us rebelling them, talking to them with the rebuttals. And it's a great way to, kind of like ride a bicycle with training wheels, because you get to see exactly what needs to be said, when to say it, how to say it, why to say it, what not to say, so you can get the deal. And it's a full day seminar, multiple sellers. You get to listen to that. And right now you can get it for 157 versus the 4,000. That was 50 available. There's only three left. Only three left. And why am I doing it? Because I know this is the best time to be your dreams, and I want to make 50 people be their dreams and become a multimillionaire. Because if you're willing to hustle, if you're willing to take risks, this is the time to make massive wealth, because so many people are going to be highly motivated. It's not going to take a genius or a, you know, an amazing marketer to find motivated sellers. You just got to use some of my systems that I give you. Now, if you have your money set up right, you need someone to hold your hand to ask any kind of questions you want. Someone to watch over your shoulder. If you're looking to get all my paperwork, all my business tools, then consider joining my profit sharing. It's 3K for a whole month of coaching. 3,000 bucks for a whole month of coaching. Plus, you get all my tools, from Flipping Wednesdays to the Alchemist Net to my no fluff negotiation to my paperwork, like my Terminator offer letter. So much, guys. There's so many I can't get into it, and it's all for 3K. If you're ready to do deals, hit the streets, you can do a deal, profit sharing. If you need self help, the virtual wholesaling, guys, I got three more left at 157 bucks. It'll never, 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 never be at this price ever again. And if you need to stack your chips now, or if you need a side hustle, or if you're trying to start a whole new business and you want to capitalize on the market, then the new flip, guys, the new flip, I show you how to invest 100 bucks to be your dreams and make money, to reprogram you so you can realize how easy it is to make money in America. You don't need a credit, you don't need a website, you don't need massive skills, you don't need, $100,000 worth of equipment. You don't need none of this stuff. You don't even need anything besides the new flip and action and 100 bucks to risk as an investment. I'll take some comments, guys. Let's see. Nick, preach it, brother. Thank you, man. Stinky bankers, man. Thank you. Dojo, to do a seller financing, those owners have to have the house paid off. That's a good question. I think you're Manny Perez. Well, there's two ways to do owner financing. Well, there's actually many different ways. If you go to my website and type in the search box, I have free training there. It says 6 ways to do owner financing. Okay, because owner financing can be done in 6 different ways. Okay, but to simplify it, to answer your question, there's 2 ways to do owner financing. You meet a seller right here. The seller can have a mortgage. If they have a mortgage, then you still can do owner financing. It's called subject to. You're just taking over their payments. Okay. The other option is meet a seller. They have the house free and clear. That means they don't have a mortgage. You can still do owner financing with these sellers, even though they don't have a mortgage. These are the best ones that don't have mortgages. Now, 2006, majority of the houses that I bought are from people that had mortgages. But in 2016, I'm going to focus a lot on people that don't have mortgages. Okay, to find people that have mortgages, that have beautiful homes, and they're willing to just take you over their payments is not as hard as to find people that have their house free and clear. But there are going to be significant amount of people that own their house free and clear are going to be highly motivated, especially in places like Vegas, where there's so many people that own their house free and clear because they live in California that bought a house and they haven't been able to sell. And certain price homes like $300,000 and above just don't sell in that area. So there's great opportunities. Doesn't matter if the house has a mortgage or if the house doesn't have a mortgage. What really matters is to be able to market and find these sellers. Okay, what other matters is to know how to identify these sellers, how to talk to them, how to qualify them, to know what paperwork to use, what not to use, and all that stuff, which you can get in my virtual wholesaling course or my owner financing for profit course or joining my profit sharing coaching guys where you work directly with me to be able to get these deals for you, which is a great idea. Okay. All right. What people don't know. Any advice on wholesaling wood frame homes? Wood frame homes. Nick, I'm not understanding what you're saying. Are you talking about like mobile homes, trailer park homes? I'm not sure. Like, are you talking about the regular brick and mortar homes? Because that's what I do. I call them single residential homes. That's what I do. I don't do apartment complexes. I don't do mobile homes. I don't do trailer homes. Is there profits in those things? Absolutely. But I do what Bruce Lee said. I do one kick 10,000 times so I can become an expert at that kick. I don't try to do 10,000 kicks one time, right? I don't try to do 10 million things. I don't try to be a auction investor. I don't try to do a fix and flipper. I know a lot about a lot of these things, right? Because to do what I do, you got to know a lot about a lot of different things. And that's what makes real estate hard because it requires significant amount of skill sets. But what I do is I work with homeowners direct and I just buy their homes at a deep discount for cash, which is 60 cents on a dollar minus repairs, or I'll just do owner financing. Those are basically what I do. Now I do short sales, I do loan mods, I do all this stuff, right? And I've done it. I have brokerage firms that, we've done that. My broker's done it, my real estate agent's done it. Even though I give all that stuff up, I have a lot of experience in that stuff. But what I like to do, my primary one kick is subject to. I'm the master of owner financing. I know how to find these sellers. I know what to tell these sellers. I know how to structure these deals. I know how to set up the insurance. And for me, it's the best way because instead of me getting a loan and begging the bank and having that noose of debt around my neck, there's already some other seller that put the noose around their neck. They just need help from it so they don't, you know, hang themselves. And I'm willing to just take over their payments and create a win-win situation. So that's what I do. Good question, though. Guys, you have any questions? Let me know. Hey, not a problem, Mary. John Paul Brooks. Hey, y'all. What's going on, brother, man? Thanks for coming in. And remember, guys, this is in my opinion, is the best time to be alive. I mean, you have the internet, you have social media, you have the world biggest economic collapse happening, which creates so much opportunity. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to think this is not an opportunity time, and that's fine. Okay, I'm not here to convince anyone. For me, this is the best time. 2016, 2015, 2014 was the dumbest time to be a real estate investor, in my opinion. A lot of people made money, but a lot of people got caught because they got these shitty ass deals and they're going to be upside down now, right? 26, 2019, 2020, I came out and I said, look, this is the best time, and I'm sticking to it, and it looks like the best time. Dow just crashed, stock market just crashed over 1,000 points, guys. Uh, dude, as in more crashes, and speculate, my opinion, 40 to 60 more percent crash happening. People are going to be hurting, dude. People are going to be hurting, and and I feel really, really bad for these people. Stinky bankers policy is Big Brother's policy of war over helping you, inflation over helping you, bombs for Lockheed Martin instead of paying your bills. And just like the banks are getting bailed out today in the repo market, if you don't know, please check it out. Billions of dollars a day are being given to bankers. There's not going to be a bailout for you, Bob, Sally, Julie, the firefighter, the school teacher. There's not going to be a bailout for them, but there will be bailouts for too big to fail corporations like Bank of America, Wells Fargo. They're already getting bailed out, like GNC, Ford. There's going to be bailouts for those guys, but there's not going to be bailouts for the workers. And you have to educate yourself because the school system, because most of it is propaganda. Sorry, guys. Most of it is propaganda, and they want most people to be a debt slave. They want most people to have jobs versus to be their dreams. Because to be your dreams requires to educate yourself, to reprogram yourself. And when you start reprogramming yourself, you start realizing that a lot of the stuff has been lied to you, especially when you have more and more time to have research. Now, if you have to have 60-hour jobs, you have to have 2 jobs, you're not going to have no time to do any research. If all day long you have free time, like hanging out with my kids, then you have a lot of time to research. So the problem is that we're so work bound because of so much debt that we don't have time to research. And my job is to help you have abundance in your life so you can have time to research and think for yourself. Because the more time you have to think for yourself, the more you realize that getting in debt is not a great idea, right? You're going to realize that taking all this shitty ass processed food that they have in every grocery store is not a good idea, right? Taking all these pills that the pharmaceutical company tells the doctors to give you, right? Probably not a good idea. And I'm not a doctor. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. But for me and my family, we ain't taking that crap, dude. Right? We don't eat processed food. We don't do it. I know for a fact by so much research study that I've done from American Journal all the way to Great Britain to Germany that man, these things are poisoning us. But if you listen to the FDA, if you listen to all these guys, they're going to tell you it's safe for you till it's not safe for you. Because majority of these guys that work for the FDA, work for the pharmaceutical companies, majority of the guys in the president's cabinets are ex bankers, ex Wall Streets, or they're going to be future presidents of Wall Streets. And you know what? They're there for their own interest, just like the bug today. Just like the bug today. In South Korea, guys, they're doing 15,000 tests a day. In America, they're only doing 15 a day. 15. The test kit's not even available. It's recently getting available. So think about that. The most powerful nation in the world doesn't have test kits. When they saw it 2 months down the road coming, they saw China, they saw the people needing it. They didn't do it. But they have money for bombs. They have money for merchants of death. They have money for X, Y, and Z, right? Pollution. But they don't got money for hospitals. They don't got money for masks. They don't got money for test kits. There's a shortage of masks. There's a shortage of sanitizers, right, in America. And guess what? This is just the beginning. Imagine what's going to happen, right? So there's a lot of fear out there. The markets are bleeding. And like Henry Ford said, I don't trust Big Brother. I don't trust FDA. I don't trust the CDC. And the reason is not because I don't trust authority, it's just because after researching history so much, like the Spanish flu, like the crash of the 1919, right? Pearl Harbor. I mean, the more you study history, the more you realize that, man, later or bought big lobbyists, which, you know, they're in bed with each other, right? And I have to do my own research for my kids and my family, and that's why we don't eat shitty food, man. Because small groups of people, they own the food company, they own the pharmaceutical company, they own your TV, your media, and they're promoting shitty food while they got the pills on the other side. They're gonna sell you that's gonna give you cancer. And if you have time to do research, you quickly realize that the highest death happening in America is not from terrorists, it's not from China, it's not from North Korea. It's heart disease, it's diabetes, right? In America, it's car accidents, right? These are what are killing Americans. not the boogeyman terrorists, not China, not South Korea, because it seems like South Korea is taking care of their people. 15,000 tests a day. America, we don't even have test kits, guys. You got to think about that, man. You got to think about what I'm just saying. And if it comes to your health, they're lying to you about it. They're trying to cover up. Do you think they're lying to you about your finances? Do you think these bankers, these stinky bankers, are liquid? Come on, do your research. Don't take my word for it. Do your research. Go and Google the repo market. Go Google 2006, us bailing out every stinky banker in America behind doors that no one got to see, right? Which is crazy, guys. All right. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Click the like button, leave a comment, go to my website, empower yourself. Okay. Remember, you don't need a credit, you don't need a FICO score, you don't need an A or B, you don't need some type of degree. You're already it. You're more powerful than you realize if you're just willing to just listen to your heart and be your dreams. It is scary. Trust me, I've been in my dreams since high school. It is scary. Sometimes I get depressed, but guess what? It's way better than having a job. It's way better than being indebted to a banker. It's way better because eventually you'll have freedom, right? Freedom from deciding if you want to work today, if you don't want to work. Freedom of what do you want to do, what you don't want to do. Freedom of educating yourself, reprogramming yourself because you have time to do the research. So I highly recommend to be your dreams because in the process of being your dreams, you're going to learn a whole lot of stuff that's going to keep you smart and your family safe, guys. Because with pursuit of being your dreams, a whole light will shine in through you, right? And you're not going to believe the propaganda of consumption, propaganda of getting so much debt. And sometimes we have to get so much accumulation for us to be poisoned by it, just like with obesity. We have to eat so much so we get poisoned by it, till we have a heart attack, till we change our ways. And that's what happened with me. I came to America as a refugee with $100, made multi-millions of dollars really fast, living out of my car, right? And I was poisoned by success. I was poisoned by consumption, even though I didn't live a lavish life because I reinvested 90% of my money, right? But still, I got poisoned just like obesity person gets poisoned, where I had to change my ways to realize, man, four shirts. Like, I got two summer shirts. You'll see me wear the same exact shirt the rest of summer, guys, right? This and another one. They look the same exact. I got a nice brand, right? Because it lasts long and it's not one of these cheap brands that I got to constantly, buy a new one. So the point of the story is be your dreams. You deserve it. Your family deserve it. And it doesn't take any money, man. It takes hustle and heart. Peace, guys.